Hi, I'm Luis Gutierrez,
I'm Noah Garcia.
and this is Rio Entertainment, where we go around and talk about some movies and shows that everyone seems to love. And the most recent one, even though it's been out for about 2 weeks already, is Black Panther.
Is this your king? This ends today.
Noah here has nothing but great things to say about the movie.
Yes, I accept the criticism that the basic structure of the movie is very standard for modern superhero films, but what it really puts it over the top and makes it memorable and possibly a movie that really inspires people in this generation is the fact that it takes something basic and simple, standard, and it adds so much flavor, character depth, style to it that it becomes more than itself. And I feel like a lot of people, at least these days, have a lot of trouble with individuality and finding who they are. And I feel like the movie is a large format version of somebody who is given this title, given these responsibilities, and what he does is that he makes it his own. Like, if we can just talk about a bit of the spoiler of the movie, are we doing spoilers?
Yeah, for the most part of this segment, or this little segment that we have, I feel like it's appropriate to go into spoilers.
Okay. Because when we start off, T'Challa has already, he's king. He's becoming the king now. And there's this whole thing about, that's mentioned by Killmonger. It's erasing the past and bringing on the future. And it's a very current thing, I feel, that's going on in the world right now, is that taking policies, certain aspects of society that have been a part of our past, and either getting rid of them for the benefit of people today or having them adapt so that people are more comfortable with them. And I felt that T'Challa in this movie, he kind of realized, he does have a point-by-point structured hero's journey, and it's really interesting because you see a character that was barely introduced, and he looks cool. And the thing about characters is that they always look cool. But
they're never really that cool.
Yeah, and the thing is, he gets a lot of depth in this. He learns a lesson, which is great. And I've been talking, so you go ahead.
All right. So I liked the movie. I thought it was good. Like, I understood the cultural significance behind it. How it was finally it was the African Americans finally getting their limelight in superhero movies that's dominantly white. Like, pretty much all the main heroes are all white in the MCU. But if you take that aside, like, it was a really important movie. But once you look past that, it was pretty generic. And I enjoyed the movie, but at certain points I'm like, okay, Marvel, I've seen this already. I get it. He's a hero having an identity crisis. He has to struggle to become who he is, and it's a very, they have formulas that they follow, and the formula is a good thing. But sometimes it's like, okay, come on, give me something new. Like, when his mentor got killed, you'd see that coming from a mile away right there. You knew he was going to get killed. When Killmonger came, you knew that he was going to take the spot, that he was going to become the new king of Wakanda, because they have this formula that they follow where the hero has to struggle to become who he is. And my main problem with this movie is that I've seen this movie at least 4 other times already, and just give me something new. The villain was great. Like, I think that's a universally agreed thing, that the villain was fantastic. I did love Killmonger, and I loved the I'm forgetting his other name. The other villain. The guy with the cannon on. Claw. Those guys were very interesting.
You see how jacked he was?
Yeah.
Like, 2003, the same actor, Andy Serkis, was Gollum. You know, they did digital effects, but he was still like this lanky guy.
The precious. They stole it from us.
But if you take that aside, like, it was a really important movie. But once you look past that, it was pretty generic. And I enjoyed the movie, but at certain points I'm like, okay, Marvel, I've seen this already. I get it. He's a hero having an identity crisis. He has to struggle to become who he is, and it's a very, they have formulas that they follow, and the formula is a good thing. But sometimes it's like, okay, come on, give me something new. Like, when his mentor got killed, you'd see that coming from a mile away right there. You knew he was going to get killed. When Killmonger came, you knew that he was going to take the spot, that he was going to become the new king of Wakanda, because they have this formula that they follow where the hero has to struggle to become who he is. And my main problem with this movie is that I've seen this movie at least 4 other times already, and just give me something new. The villain was great. Like I think that's a universally agreed thing, that the villain was fantastic. I did love Killmonger, and I love the I'm forgetting his other name. The other villain. The guy with the cannon on. Claw. Those guys were very interesting.
You see how jacked he was?
Yeah.
It was like, 2003, the same actor, Andy Serkis, was Gollum. You know, they did digital effects, but he was still like this lanky guy, and now he's all ripped. And, like, everyone in Hollywood right now is getting ripped.
So I thought the movie was pretty boring. Like, there was parts where I was like, man, like I'm not gonna lie, I almost did fall asleep at one point. But to that argument, I did go to bed pretty late, and I woke up pretty early to go see the movie, so that may have had a big part to do in it. But there was parts I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, he has to go and he has to get some outside force that he never thought he would get. Such like, I'm trying to, I can't even think of a perfect example right now. But it's a pretty generic plot that they follow. It's like, once they introduced the tribe that ousted themselves, it was pretty predictable. It was like, okay, once T'Challa and his family gets outcasted from Wakanda, it was like no-brainer that we're gonna go over there. And the fact that they're like, okay, you know, we're not gonna help you. We want nothing to do with you. Then at the final battle, all you hear is a war cry, and they come out of nowhere. It's like, come on, like, it would have called for a much better story if somehow, some way, obviously T'Challa has to become the victor of the party, I mean, the victor of the movie, because after all, it is his movie. Have him face more trials and tribulations that we haven't seen. Like, let him and his people get gunned down, and then all of a sudden, the last like brink of hope, he does something to give him the upper hand.
I understand your complaint. However, as I said, just to reiterate, yes, it's standard. But the thing about POC characters in modern filmmaking is that I'm just going to recall back to Wonder Woman. I can say this now because it's been a year or so, not a couple months. Wonder Woman is basic, but it's still great. So when you set up these POC characters that have kind of just been made fun of for a majority of film and media history, you need to have them do these standard things. You need to have them, yes, it was basic, there are lots of basic elements to it, and it is predictable, but you need to have these characters be in these predictable situations so that people can ingest them easier, and then once they say, yes, Black Superhero, we get it, it was cool, whatever, that standard. Now that you have that as a standard, you can progress that character and that style of filmmaking that you're going to use this character into something else. Like, now you can do something interesting with the same movie.
Wouldn't you feel like the counter-argument to that, though, like that was a big part of Civil War right there, was to give him a kind of a basic hero introduction. It was like, oh no, my father's been killed, now I have to like step up to the plate and do this. I feel like Civil War was what you just explained, so where he didn't have to go through like this basic hero thing, so where they could just jump right into the next story. Like, I get it, they kind of pick up right where they left off.
He needed more development.
You think so?
Yeah, because now they can bounce. Now we know the character well enough. Because Civil War does a very good job of just bringing in these characters and saying, this is who they are. Okay, that's great, standard, whatever. And now that we know more about him, more about his people, more about his relationships, the second movie is where that's supposed to be the good one. That's supposed to be the good one. Like, we can all say that Captain America, the first one, First Avenger, basic as hell. They do so much in the second movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the second one was fantastic.
In a certain way, the first movie of a superhero, especially of a POC character, has to be standard, somewhat predictable and boring, so that audience can consume it and get to know it in a very stable, very welcoming environment and way, so that way on the sequel you can build up on that. That's where you do things interesting. So when you have these characters, especially, as I said, of color, you need to establish them as basic as boring so people can accept them as something normal, and then you do something weird with them. Like with Civil War, That was I'm sorry, excuse me. With Winter Soldier, that was great. Like it turned this character that we all knew was just Cap, whatever, and I put in all these different messages about governmental policies and controlling and so many different things, and it was so great. So yeah, the first Black Panther, I'm gonna go a little bit against hype with you. Is kind of boring and kind of predictable, but it's still stylized, and they laid down the foundation for so many interesting pathways to go for this story and for the characters that I can kind of forgive it for now. Because right now we kind of have to give women and minority characters a pass because we need them.
True.
We need them.
Yeah, it is.
So
it is
like,
true.
5 years from now, maybe you know what? I'm being too nice. 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when we have these characters as standard, we have a black hero as standard, then we can complain that the movie is basic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like right now, we can mention it, but let's not that be the focal point of the conversation.
Like, to kind of like change paths really quick, one thing I really did enjoy about the movie is all of its side characters. They were all unique and interesting in their own points. And when the movie came out, I went to go see it with my girlfriend, and one of the things that I really just remember watching, like that was really admirable, not admirable, but was just unique, was a unique scene, was the casino scene where they're about to find Claude, like, all right, well, the deal's gonna go down here, but then all of a sudden the CIA agent is like, hey, what are you doing? This is my guy, and T'Challa's like, I'm the king, I tell you what to do, and he's like, and then they're pretty much bickering back and forth, but like, hey, I have this secret on you, I have this secret on you, and it was very espionage and very like, it was very spy, and that's what I loved about that. I was like, holy crap,
it felt,
that was cool.
It felt like a little James Bond.
Yeah,
I was like,
and they were just kind of like, no, you listen to me, I listen to you.
Just to jump on that really quickly, Black Panther draws the framework from so many things. It draws it from like typical movies. It draws it from The Lion King. It draws it from James Bond. It draws it from Dune. If you get what I mean, it totally draws.
Also from
Dune.
Dragon Ball Z, if you see Killmonger and Vegeta. Like,
oh, did you see those pictures?
Yeah.
Oh, I want that now. I want that now. That'd be so cool.
Anyways, guys, this has been Rio Entertainment. I'm Luis Gutierrez.
I'm Noah Garcia.
Thanks for watching.